Hi everybody and happy Monday. Um, Things are getting weird, huh? I thought this would be a fun little way to maybe break up the monotony of some of the days once we are all just hanging at home. Um, we It's probably not that bad yet for a lot of you. This is might be the first like full work day that you're working at home. And so it's just something new and exciting, maybe. Maybe it's not exciting. Maybe it's a little annoying. Um, but honestly, it's not that different for me. Sorry, I'm just trying to share my little video here. So life is not that different for me. Honestly, I've been working um, at home for a while. So, um, like, I've got the routine down. So, this new lifestyle that might be new to a lot of you, it's not that new for me. So, if you have questions, if you're concerned, if you have no idea what to do with all your time at home, let me know. I'm kind of not that new to it. Things will be a little bit different when the kiddo is home. We have her part of the time. So the days we have her when she doesn't have school will definitely be different. So we'll see about that. And I will be turning to a lot of you parents being like, what do I do with this child that's now here all day? But anyway, so I thought it would be fun to maybe around lunchtime every single day um, have a little story time break, especially if you're new at working from home. Um, Definitely take breaks. It's a great tip. I know, like, when you're home, it's hard to separate work and life. So it's super important to make sure you're taking those breaks. So I'll probably be sharing stories, and then I might be sharing some tips and tricks on how to work from home and how to make the most of it and how to stay productive, even though I'm probably not the most productive person. Somehow I manage to get things done. Sometimes I'm not sure how, but so as people jump on here, and you might end up watching this later, which is fine. Who knows what our lunch hours, we don't have any particular lunch hours right now and we're all working at home. Um, my number one tip to start the week when you're working from home is get dressed. Don't just hang out in your pajamas all day. You don't have to like put on your normal work clothes. I'm in super comfy clothes, but I'm not in my pajamas. I have leggings on. Most of the time I'm in yoga clothes, but just get out of your pajamas. It just, at least for me, makes me feel way more productive and doesn't make it feel like a weekend when I can just hang out. So that's my number one tip if you're new to working from home. Get dressed. Makes you feel better about the day. Take a shower, get ready like you were going out. You can dress in comfy clothes. Just put on something different than what you wore to sleep in. So on that note, I'm going to read a little story. So most of my stories, if you guys don't know, are 1,000 words or less. Some are a little bit longer, but most can be read in about 5, maybe 10 minutes. Probably not 10. Super short fiction. I have 2 books. You can get them on Amazon, The Problem with Humans and Flash in the Dark. A lot of my stuff is kind of dark, a little scary. I'm going to start with a light humor one today just to ease you guys into it. And we probably all need a little humor as we start this new norm. But just a fair warning, they won't all be light and fun. Some will be dark. And you know what? That's just what I write. So, and I'll probably keep writing most of it or writing more of it as this continues. So, my first story that I will read today is called The Date, and you can find it in my book, The Problem with Humans and Other Stories, or on my website where you can sign up to support me and get all my stories, snackscizefiction.com. So, here we go, a little lunchtime story for you all called The Date. The walls in here are so bright. No, I'm sorry, I don't have a light. I didn't know you smoked. Smoke? No, they're too pink for that. More like a coral. I moaned under my breath from my spot at the bar. It's easier for me to hear the uncomfortable exchange than it is for the people actually having it. Move on, I mumbled around the edge of my martini glass. I watched in the mirror behind the bar as the man caught on to their predicament and shifted his seat closer to his date. Is that better? He asked. Better than what? Never mind, he laughed. Do you like your wine? I cringed inwardly and willed the conversation to go another direction. Don't talk about going to the bathroom. Don't talk about going to the... Oh, it's lovely. I just have to drink it slow or I'll be going to the bathroom all night. I sighed, but he laughed, a big booming laugh. I know what you mean. One can of beer means all night in the can for me. Okay, that was clever, I thought, but I heard a groan from beside me. I looked over, but the man next to me was staring down into his beer. I tuned back into their conversation in time to hear her say, well, that's all well and good, but with my hip it takes me just as long to get to the bathroom as it does to actually go. Oh, come on. This time I said it out loud, but luckily not loud enough for the geriatric daters. Next, he's going to start talking about his medications. I jumped at the voice, but at the table behind me, the old man responded to something I hadn't heard. I believe it. I don't know which pill does what. I just know I haven't peed right since the 90s. Another groan. I looked over as the mystery man took a long pull of his beer. I'm sorry, do I know you? I asked, confused that another human would have as much interest in this train wreck of a date as I did. Doubt it, he said, but I'm guessing you know the saucy minx at the table behind us. I'm Nathan. That's my Grandpa Gabe. Oh, I said, I'm Amy. That's my Grandma Rose. He nodded as though it were completely normal to follow your grandparent on a date and eavesdrop on their conversation. So, what do you think? Take a drink every time they mention medication, aching joints, or technology they can't work? I laughed. That seems dangerous. But fun, he said, motioning to the bartender. Another round of drinks, please. From behind us, Grandma Rose's voice carried across the restaurant. I swear I haven't been able to turn my TV off for a week. Better keep 'em coming, Nathan winked. A few rounds later, after they'd touched on Facebook, trying to ask Alexa questions and discussing the weather's impact on each limb, the couple decided they needed a bathroom break. Nathan and I were leaned in with our heads together waiting for the next topic when Gabe stood up. Oh, thank goodness, I sighed. I need a break. Nathan laughed and ordered us a couple of waters. So, he said, sliding mine toward me, what prompts a woman of your age to stalk her grandmother's date instead of pursuing her own? I could ask you the same question. He shrugged. You could, and the answer is simple. I love my grandpa, and he's been pretty lonely since Gram died. I knew if I didn't do something, he'd sit in his big house in front of his old TV, watching MASH reruns and yelling at Alexa until it was time to join Gram. I nodded. Similar story. So I pulled up that Silver Years dating thing. He saw a picture of your grandma, grumbled that she had a nice smile, and I set the connection in motion. But now, he paused, raising an eyebrow at me. I'm guessing that when I sent that winky face, it was not Rose that sent back the blushing face. I held up my hands innocently. Hey, she did actually blush when I said someone winked at her. He laughed, a booming laugh like his grandpa's. It made me smile. I've been living with Grandma since my divorce, and it's been a saving grace for both of us, but someday I'm going to want to move out and move on. I couldn't stand the thought of her watching ER and call the midwife by herself, but I also couldn't stand the thought of her getting out there for the first time all alone. It's silly, I guess. He lifted his water glass toward me. Not silly at all. I lifted mine too, and we clinked. From the corner of my eye, I saw Grandma Rose shuffling back to the table with Gabe not far behind her. I nudged Nathan and we shifted toward each other, leaning backward to listen. Immediately, I could sense a shift in the mood at the table. I snuck a glance behind me, and I saw Grandma sigh as she settled into her seat, looking around the room as though she were looking back through time. "Oh, this place," she said. "Oh, God," I whispered, recognizing the change in her tone. The panic in Nathan's eyes mirrored mine. "Dead spouses?" he asked. "Dead spouses." He shook his head and took a drink of his beer. I tried not to listen, but after a minute, I heard my name. "It's been so nice having her there, but I know she can't stay forever. It's just been lovely not to be so lonely." I snuck a glance behind me and saw Gabe nod knowingly and then lean over the table. "You don't have to be lonely." He placed a hand over hers. I turned away and sighed, trying to hide the tears lining my eyes. "Is this what we have to look forward to if we're still dating in our 80s?" I asked softly. "Well," said Nathan, "I guess we better make sure that doesn't happen." He placed his hand over mine. The end. So that's a flash fiction story. That's one of mine. It's a little longer than some of them. I think that's about 1,000 words. A lot of them are less than 500 words. So if you enjoyed that, you can tune in, I think every day. I'm going to try this out if you guys are open to it, for a little lunchtime story time, social distancing story time. Since we can't go out and share our stories and chat with each other, let's do it here. So yeah, that's all. I'll also share some tips and tricks on how to survive working from home because I do it every day. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Make sure you like my page. You can get my books on Amazon, snacksizedfiction.com, if you want to get more of the stories right online. Yeah, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. I hope you stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.